Hi, we're here with Edmond, one of the planners of the Bud Summit. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Wonderful. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, as you said, my name is Christine, and I am a part of the Bud Summit team. I helped on the marketing and communications aspect of things, and that's what my strengths and background lie in. I have a consulting business called Shine Bright Consulting.
What's it called?
Shine Bright Consulting. And so I help organizations who have an interest in professional development or some type of educational program offering for professionals, and help them to market their programs and their services as well.
Wonderful. So what inspired you to get involved with the Bud Summit or the cannabis industry?
I will start by saying I've always been an advocate, at least for the last 7 or 8 years. Before that, I was very, dare oriented, and I wasn't informed. And so once I had a better understanding of the plant and how it helped people medicinally, and how all of the things that I learned were not actually accurate, my tone changed about cannabis about 8 years ago. And then earlier this year, I turned that advocacy and telling friends into activism, and started with planning a march earlier in the year, and have kind of just been as involved as I can with different protests and just actually being vocal about what I believe now.
So I think that's really the difficulty, is that there's a lack of information, and that there's a stigma. So what have you found to be the most challenging aspects of this industry?
I'd say the most challenging aspect about this industry is that there is still such a big lack of information. I think the biggest issue for people who want to be in the cannabis industry, or people who are just curious and not sure how to enter. I think there's that barrier of entry,
right.
Because of that lack of information. People don't know what the laws are, and the fact that they vary so much. I think that there's just not a consistent, even if you know information for your state, it's just not. There's an overwhelming amount of information, I think.
I'm from Maine, and I can tell you that, with the reciprocity laws, you're dealing with, everything's different everywhere, which has definitely been a major challenge. So what do you find to be the most rewarding?
The most rewarding thing for me is knowing that this is an open door for everybody. I think that the cannabis market, the cannabis industry, with the projections financially, with the fact that people who are, whether you're working in sales or in legal or construction, I have seen so many different, non-traditional, or just a variety of skills and trades that can easily transfer into the cannabis industry. If it's your interest, then you can take that step. There's a place for you. And it's such a small market right now that it's also such a tight-knit community, and I really love that, especially in the DC area. Everybody kind of knows each other. It can get a little competitive, but at the same time, you know that it's a community that you are a part of.
And it's such a word-of-mouth industry.
It is.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much as well.
No problem.